Hello everybody, welcome back to Monday Night Mythbusters. I'm Dr. Carolyn George, and I am not joined tonight by my transformational coach, Leslie Harrington, as she's off learning all kinds of great things to bring back to us next week. So joining you in talking about detoxification. And so for some of my patients, some of the people that are out there, they may know that I'm doing a detox workshop next, this is actually coming up this Wednesday with Dr. Jenna Chiropractic. Dr. Jenna Botchever has invited me to come speak to her group about how to do a detox. And so when I was writing this up, I was writing a lot about the different foods and things that one might use for a detox and what foods to avoid. But then I was really wanting to spend some time talking about all the non-food issues that surround a detox. So I decided to do a Facebook Live on that tonight. And for any of you that are going to the workshop this Wednesday, then you can look at this Facebook Live. You can watch it live now, or you can see it on our YouTube channel afterwards. And you'll have some information to go back to for the things that you want to do to try to help make your detox the best way to start the year. Okay, so thank you, Marianne. Thank you, Margarita. Awesome to have you join us. So if anybody can just kind of give me a thumbs up if you ever have done a detox in the past. And it can be any kind of a detox. That's a very general term. So if anybody's done a detox, give me a thumbs up. And hey there. And if anybody's interested in doing a detox, if you can give me a wave. Okay, so I am navigating this myself tonight, so I'm going to be trying to stay on top of questions. So I definitely would love you to send me some questions, but you'll excuse me if I look down every once in a while because I'm going to be seeing if I've got any questions that come in. Okay, so first off, let's talk about what we do in a detox, why we do a detox. I'm just going to spend a minute on that because I've got so much to tell you about otherwise. So you do a detox at any time of the year, but typically we think about it in the new year because we've been pretty busy getting toxified over the last couple of months between Thanksgiving and all the winter celebrations. We've been drinking more, eating more, not getting as much sleep, in combined kind of close conditions, often with lots of illnesses surrounding us. So there's a lot of reason to want to kind of cleanse ourselves. And so we'll typically do that with food. You may also notice other times of the year, not around the November, December time, but other times of the year that you just really feel like, okay, I just need to kind of flush my system out and start all over again. What can I do to help myself? And that's what we're talking about in a detox. Your body does detoxification every day, every minute of every day. It's working to cleanse your system. But there are times when we overtax our system, okay? So once you reach that personal limit of accumulated toxins that your body is trying to get rid of, try to excrete throughout your body, but maybe there's just so much, or maybe your body's ability to get rid of it has been limited, and we'll talk about why it might be limited, but that it can't get rid of all the junk that it needs to get rid of. So then we need to kind of give it a little help, decrease the amount of toxins that are coming in, and then help it to be much more efficient in getting rid of the toxins. So how does your body get rid of toxins? Well, you pee them out, you poop them out, you sweat them out, and you breathe them out. A lot of people don't think of your lungs and your skin as organs of detoxification, but they really are. So you really want to maximize every way your body's got to get rid of those chemicals that aren't serving it. So that is definitely something that we're going to talk about shortly, but I want to kind of touch a little bit on the foods just very briefly because I'm going to go into that in the detox workshop. So the foods that you want to try to get rid of are those that are more inflammatory and those that make your body work harder. So for example, alcohol, caffeine, sugar, that really makes your body work super hard to process all of that stuff. So you want to get rid of that. If you smoke, you want to get rid of that. That's also another foreign chemical that you're breathing into your body. You want to then think about other foods that you might want to get rid of. Often we'll take out gluten, we'll take out dairy. Sometimes we'll take out other foods, but those two, the gluten and the dairy, are the most common. You can do a full elimination diet as part of your detox, but that is a lot more challenging, and that removes a number of other foods like soy and corn and egg and some nuts and some different kind of animal proteins. I'm not going to really dive into that right now. But at the very minimal, you want to get rid of the caffeine, the alcohol, the smoking, the sugar, and ideally the gluten and the dairy. Okay, so get rid of those. What do you want to bring in place of? Because I don't want you to be hungry. You want to eat lots of fresh fruit and vegetables. Lots of color, not just greens, but pinks and purples and reds and oranges and yellows, and really just eating that rainbow. So bring in lots of good phytoplant nutrients and take out the stuff that make your system work harder. Okay, that your liver will be very, very thankful for. So that's the beginning. So that's all I'm going to talk about with the food piece. I'm not going to go into that in depth. So what else can you do to make a detox good? Does anybody have any ideas out there? If you do, shout them out, okay? So I'm always looking for interaction here. So just to kind of backtrack a little bit to what I was talking about, the ways your body gets rid of toxins. So you want to augment, you want to really support that. So that's one of the first things you want to think about when you're doing a detox. So you want to be peeing a lot. So what do you have to do to pee a lot? You got to drink a lot of water, not a lot of sodas, not a lot of fruit juices, but a lot of water. That way your system can flush itself out. You want to be going to the bathroom a lot, bowel movements. So you want to have a lot of good fibery foods. Hey there, Leda. You want to have a lot of nice fiber, so that's your nuts, your seeds, your vegetables, fruits with the peels on them, so they should really be organic. And you want to, whatever you are eating should be less toxic, so you want to try to rev up the number of organic foods that you eat versus the conventional foods. And you can use the Environmental Working Group. You go to their app, and they've got tons of apps that I'm going to talk to you about, and that's one place. Put it on your phone, go to www.ewg, environmentalworkinggroup.org, and they have everything that I'm talking about tonight. They're going to have that and more on that website. So you want to eat more of the Clean 15 and less of the Dirty Dozen. Okay, those are 12 foods that are covered in pesticides, so you don't want to be eating a lot of them. Okay, you want to get those those organic. Excuse me. So that's one way to bring in some less toxins. Can anybody think of other ways to bring in less toxins? So we're not going to smoke, we're not going to eat the toxic foods, we're going to avoid pesticides and herbicides and other chemicals by eating organic. What else can we do? We can look at other chemicals in our personal care items. So we get a lot of chemicals. Women get, on average, more than 10 different chemicals in their body, on their body, within the first hour of waking up, just before they even go out of the house, just through all of our personal care items. And men get just a few less than that. So what items am I thinking about? Shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste, face creams, hand creams, and body creams. Okay, just to mention a few. Aftershave, colognes. There's just tons, deodorants, antiperspirants. There's just tons of personal care items that we use every single day, and you don't even think about it, right? All of these have the potential to have parabens and phthalates and triclosan and a variety of other chemicals that we're finding are not healthy for us. So you're thinking, well, I'm not eating them, so how are they getting in me? So they get in because our skin is a wonderful organ to absorb things, right? We can put things on our skin and it comes right in, and that helps us to absorb it. We use it for medicines. We use it for bioidentical hormones and pain medicines and all kinds of different medicines. So everything you put on your skin, what you put on your hair, your head, your face, in your mouth, is going to be absorbed to different degrees, but it has the potential to carry toxins into your system that your system has to then get rid of. It has to manipulate, it has to make less toxic. So look through your list. And the Environmental Working Group has an app called Skin Deep, where you can put in whatever you're using, the brand that you're using, and it will tell you what chemicals it's got in it and whether they're safe and not safe. And it will give you ideas for things that are good alternatives. So I'm not saying that you have to like throw everything out, okay? But if you're doing a detox, then look at some of the key things you're using and see if you can make different choices. If you're running out of something, then that's a great time to go to that Skin Deep website and check out what you might be using as an alternative. And then one by one, you start to replace the things that are on your bathroom counter and in your makeup bag and the rest of that, because of course makeup is one of the other places that we're using a lot of different chemicals that we don't even think about. So Leda mentioned sauna. Yes, sauna is awesome. That helps you sweat. So what other ways are there of helping you sweat? Exercise, right? So you can use either way to sweat. If you're not feeling well, sauna is sometimes the simplest way, but exercise, of course, has other benefits. But sweating every day is really key. So then people will ask me sometimes, what's the best kind of sauna? Because there's a dry sauna, there's a wet sauna, humid sauna, and then there's an infrared sauna. So what's the best? Well, all of them are better than nothing. So whatever you have access to is awesome. Some people feel too sick, and then a humid sauna, a wet sauna, it doesn't make them feel good. So if you're not well already, then that might not be your best bet. So then you might want to do something like an infrared sauna, and that you can go to different facilities that have them. Some of your healthcare spas will have them, some of the exercise fitness places will have them, or sometimes people will purchase their own for their home. That is a type of sauna that doesn't use heat the same way. They use energy that helps to stimulate your body to make more heat, and it goes a little bit deeper than the skin level. So if you're using a regular sauna, dry heat or moist heat, you're going to get really, really hot because the temperature gets 150, 160 degrees, and then your body's going to sweat to cool yourself down, and it's going to release the toxins out of your pores, and that's awesome. Nothing wrong with that at all. But if you want a little bit gentler way, you can do this infrared sauna, and it will typically go to about 120 degrees, so it won't be quite as hot, so people can tolerate that a little easier. Goes a little deeper into your skin and will still make you sweat. So you'll start to pour out the sweat without being super, super, super hot. So doing something like that for 10 to 20 minutes, 2 or 3 times a week or daily if you're in the midst of a detox, can be something that's quite useful. So check that out as a way to get rid of some of the toxins. So we've talked about urinating and drinking lots of water. We've talked about bowels and eating foods that give us good regular bowel movements. But I want to say another word about that, because if you're constipated, you are holding on to your toxins. Your body, if that stuff that is meant to be exiting your body is staying in your body, then typically what will happen is you start to reabsorb some of those chemicals. And then it goes back to your liver, and it has to do double duty and detoxify it again. And then it goes back into the stool, and then it tries to go out. Maybe it gets a little further this time, and then it gets pulled back in. So anytime you're doing a detox, and just for general health, you want to be having a bowel movement every single day. Now, for some people, it's their normal to go every 2 or 3 days. Some people go once a week. That is not normal. That is not healthy, okay? So you really want to up your water, up the fiber in your diet. Sometimes you have to do some other things to get your gut working. Sometimes you need to stimulate your vagus nerve by gargling or singing. Sometimes you will take aloe juice, or you'll use prunes, or you'll use other things that supply some of the things that your gut's asking for to get that junk out of there. So that's a whole other talk, and you can look at some of my YouTube videos for tricks on how to deal with constipation. But that is definitely something to address if you're going to do a detox. You cannot detox and be constipated. So deal with the constipation, and then we just talked about ways to sweat it out. Okay? So these are all really important things to address at the same time. Now I'm going to kind of take a little sidestep. So we talked about a lot of physical things. Now I just want to take a moment and talk about other things that can be toxic in your world. So sometimes people are toxic in your world. And so when you're doing a detox, that's something else to think about. Who is like a really negative energy in your world, and how can you minimize your interaction with them? So sometimes they're family members, and then you can't completely get rid of them, right? You have certain relationships, but maybe you can work on them, talk to that person, or minimize your contact with them if there really is no mending that relationship. But if you feel like your energy is really brought down every time you're near that person, or you leave feeling like the energy just got sucked out of you, then that's a good lesson, a good message to yourself that that's somebody you don't want to spend a lot of time with, unless you repair things with them. So trying to minimize that exposure. If it is a toxic friendship, maybe you're the one that's giving all the time, and you're not receiving anything from that friend, then you want to think about, again, minimizing the exposure or ending the friendship. Other relationships can be toxic. Friend relationships as well as sexual relationships can be toxic. So if that's somebody that puts you down, that makes you feel like you have less self-esteem and you don't feel good when you're around them, that's something I would like you to really consider as you're doing your detox, because these are people that are not serving you. So, and serving you in a positive way. I don't mean like serving you food or, being subservient to you, but they're not helping you, and they're not working together with you to live a better life. So that's really a key thing to think about. And I always like to have people consider what we call agreements. Okay, there is a wonderful author called, his name is Don Miguel Ruiz, and he's written several books. These are little cards about the 4 agreements. And so that's something to also think about when you're doing a detox. What agreements have you made with yourself that are not serving you in your current life? Maybe they did when you were younger, but now you've grown past them, and that's something you want to reconsider, because we make all kinds of unspoken agreements with ourselves about how we're going to behave and what we should be doing. Good girls should be quiet, they shouldn't complain, boys shouldn't cry. There's all kinds of these little agreements that we've made through our culture and our families. And so his books talk about which agreements you really want to keep. So he has 4 that he really thinks are important to keep, and I'm going to tell you them. It doesn't wreck the book, because this book is awesome. I reread this every couple of years. But 1, be impeccable with your word. So that means integrity. Okay, don't promise things you're not going to do. And if you're upset with somebody, let them know in a socially appropriate way, not with yelling and screaming, but express yourself. So be impeccable with your word. Then always do your best. Okay, you're not going to be perfect. Nobody is. Just let go of that expectation. But if you can honestly say that you've done your best at whatever it was, even if you failed, if that was your best, that's all anybody can expect from you. And then you should be happy you did your best, okay? Then, the third one is don't make assumptions. So we often make assumptions about what other people are thinking about us. And they may say something to us, and then we take it personally. We get all upset. We're making assumptions about what they really mean, right? We're making assumptions about what they want. So it's always important to clarify with people, okay, you said this, and I understand this. Is that what you meant? Okay, don't make assumptions. I do this all the time with my patients because they will tell me something. For example, I'm constipated. So constipation means different things to different people. So I will ask them then, okay, what do you mean by constipation? Do you mean that you don't go very frequently, or that when you go it's very hard and pellet-like? Okay, that can be constipation to any individual. I need to know exactly what they're talking about so I can help them. And same thing in any relationship. If you're with a spouse or a lover, you want to be clear on what you need from them, right? They can't figure it out. They don't read minds. So you want to express yourself and then make sure you're understanding them. And then one of the last ones is don't take anything personally. So that is critical. People are going to snap at you. They're going to sabotage you. They're going to do all kinds of things. This is the real world. Bad things happen. But 9 times out of 10, 9.5 times out of 10, it's not about you. It's about them and their journey. And then you sit there and you worry about what did you do to upset them? What could you have done better? You know, how is it your fault? And most of the time it's not, right? It's their stuff. Don't take it on you. Okay? So read his book to learn a lot more about how you can really dive into those kinds of concepts and kind of detox your emotional world at the same time you're detoxing your body. And then I'm going to end with something a little bit less metaphysical, and that's clutter. When you're detoxing your body, you're detoxing your emotions, your spirit, detox your space. Because sometimes all that clutter really makes you feel super, super negative, okay? So has anybody gone and cleaned out the closets and just like felt awesome? Okay, give me a thumbs up if anybody's felt like that. Yeah, I'm starting to see some. So removing things that you don't use, right? Going through a closet, throwing out old clothes, giving it to somebody who could use it, right? Much better to give it to somebody who would benefit from it than just sitting in your closet. Go through your desk, through papers, giving away what you don't need, throwing away the rest. Going through your kitchen, through your pantry, cleaning out what you don't use. So just kind of take each space in your house and kind of go through, and yes, I need this, I use this all the time. Excuse me, I'm going to keep that. No, I have not used this or worn this in months. I'm going to leave it go, okay? See, this is a benefit of having Leslie around, other than all the amazing information she's got, but I don't have to talk for 30 minutes. So, cleaning out closets, cleaning out pantries, just cleaning out your house, trying to leave space. Maybe you even give some furniture away. These are all things that you can do as part of your detoxification. So, does anybody have any questions? I've got a couple minutes left. And I'm happy to answer any questions. I want to leave you with that website, www.ewg.org. It's a place to go for the toxins in fish. This is one thing, yes. So I'm going to talk, let me finish this, what's on the EWG, and then I'm going to talk to you about cleaning materials. So the EWG will go through different cleaning materials and help you figure out what is more toxic and what's less toxic. It does the food. It does your personal care items. It does your water. So how to detoxify your water, filtering your water can be important. So I told you need to drink a lot of water, but sometimes we're not getting good, healthy water. It's got a lot of other chemicals from the pharmaceutical industry or things kind of left over. Your county water system is going to take out things that cause infection for the most part, but it may not take out those things that can cause you to build up some other toxins. So, if that helps. Then cleaning items. So cleaning chemicals are a really great place to get toxified. So one of the places that you can look at as you're going through your house, or what kind of cleaning items are in your place that could be replaced with less toxic items. And the 3 that are on the top list with the environmental working group are antibacterial anything, because generally the antibacterial things have triclosan and other chemicals that are not healthy for us, and we actually are understanding that they are probably destroying our microbiome and maybe increasing our risk of cancer. So washing your hands with plain water and soap and taking out the things that have these antibacterial stuff in them is important. And also, air fresheners are a really, really common thing to see everywhere. Everybody wants their house to smell garden fresh without being garden fresh, so we put in air fresheners to cover up a smell. So the chemicals that they use to cover up the smell are parabens and phthalates, but mostly parabens. And they're not healthy. We breathe them in through our nose and through our lungs. So we breathe these things in and they have negative repercussions in our body. So air fresheners are not good. If you want something to smell nice, then take some fresh lemon. Use a lemon spray. Get some essential oils. Organic is better, but you want them to be fresh and not these parabens and phthalates. So these essential oils are okay to spray or use in a diffuser. Okay, so there's some ideas for those 2. And then one of the top chemicals that a lot of people use in their homes and very regularly, that's very nasty for both your home and the water system, are the drain cleaners. So you've got long hair maybe, your drain gets stopped up with a whole bunch of hair. There's little gadgets that you can stick down them and kind of clean them out rather than using the drain cleaners, because those don't work very well in the first place, and in the second then you're now pouring a ton of chemicals into the sewer system, which we all get then in parts per billion and parts per trillion, because they're not really filtered out. So not good for the oceans, for the lakes, for the rivers, not good for us, not good for animals, and it doesn't even help your issue that well. So avoid drain cleaners, avoid air fresheners, and avoid antibacterial products as the top 3. And if you want more information, there's always the environmental working group. So Leda had a couple good questions. So which water filter is good? I generally like to use a reverse osmosis, and I don't have a favorite brand. The environmental working group has a list of a whole bunch of different brands that you can go to and see what's available in your area, what the cost is, what things that they're claiming to remove. But in general, the reverse osmosis is going to remove everything. You're just going to get water. It's even going to remove things that we like some of the minerals. But it's, in my opinion, better to remove all of that than get some of the pharmacologic agents, some of the triclosan, some of the other minerals that we don't want too much of, sometimes the fluoride, that kind of thing. It's going to get rid of all of that. So I like reverse osmosis. But not everybody can afford it. Not everybody can access it. So on the environmental working group, they have a list of other ones and what things that they remove, like a Berkey water filter or a Brita water filter. There's a variety of different kinds of filters. So just check it out and see what's the best that you can do. Okay? And nobody has to be perfect. None of this is perfect. Pick off one of these things I've talked about and work on that for a little while, and then pick off something else and work on that. And this can be a project for a year or a lifetime. And that's going to be my kind of closing statement, is that people tend to want to do a detox at the beginning of the year. But I'm going to suggest to you that you may want to do that quarterly. Or you may want to just try to live in a detox way every day, so that you're eating clean with lots of fruits and vegetables, and you're minimizing your sugar, and you're not drinking a lot of coffee or caffeine, and you're minimizing any alcohol intake. You're trying to really decrease the amount of chemicals that are coming into your body, and then you're doing all the things to support what's going out of your body. So you can do that every single day, right? It doesn't mean that you never, ever have a drink, but maybe you limit yourself to, 3 or 4 drinks a week rather than 7 or 10. Maybe it means that you exercise more, so that helps you sweat. Maybe it means you commit to doing a sauna once a month. There's different ways you can bring this into your everyday life. And so little bit by little bit, as you replace those personal care items with less toxic items, as you replace your cleaning items with less toxic items, as you start to replace your toxic foods with less toxic foods, you become a detoxer every day. And that is really my long-term goal for everybody, to help them kind of see where they can do that bit by bit. And it's a process. So cut yourself some slack. Check out the 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz and see what things you can learn. And then if you can, join me on Wednesday at Dr. Jenna Chiropractic, where I'm going to be doing a whole workshop on detoxification. And we're not going to even get into this stuff. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of other stuff. Okay? To your healthy detox and living a wonderful life. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. And next week we're going to talk about the things that you can do at nighttime to have a healthier daytime and help you lose weight. So what are 5 things that you can do at night that help you lose weight the next day? Stay tuned, and Leslie should be back. I'll see you then. Take care, guys. And remember to share this through Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, wherever you can. Share it with anybody that's interested. Have a great night.